There is a reason why certain things disappear from your life, a reason why relationships that seemed so permanent suddenly collapse without warning, a reason why positions you once held are no longer yours, a reason why what once gave you joy now feels like a burden. Life is not random, and your journey is not a series of accidents. There is intention behind every loss, and there is design behind every disappointment. The problem is, we often misinterpret the silence of God as the absence of God, and we confuse removal with rejection. But God does not remove to destroy. He removes to develop. He does not subtract to hurt. He subtracts to make space for what He originally planned for you before you were formed in your mother's womb. When God begins to remove things from your life, it is never without purpose. You may not understand it while it's happening. It may feel like you are being punished, abandoned, or forgotten. But heaven does not operate on human logic. What you call unfair, heaven calls necessary. What you see as painful, heaven sees as preparation. You are not being robbed. You are being refined. And refinement by its nature requires separation. You cannot purify gold without fire. You cannot prune a tree without cutting. You cannot enter the next season of your life carrying things that belong to your past. There are moments in life when God will intentionally dry up the places where you once found provision. He will let the brook run dry. He will let the birds stop bringing food, not because He no longer loves you, but because He is pushing you into a new place of provision. He is stirring up your nest so you learn how to fly. He is shutting down old systems so you can see new sources. And yet we cry, we mourn, we cling to what God is trying to take away. But you cannot soar with weights tied to your ankles. You cannot walk into divine destiny holding on to expired assignments. You must come to a place where you trust God even when you don't understand Him. When things are being removed, when the very things you prayed for are being taken back, it challenges your trust. But trust is not real trust until it is tested. It is easy to trust when all is well, but the real measure of your faith is what you do when God is silent and life is shifting. Can you worship when doors are closing? Can you give thanks when things are being taken away? Can you still believe when everything you built starts to crumble? Because in those moments, God is watching. He's watching to see if you love Him for who He is or just for what He gives. Sometimes the greatest blessing God gives you is not what He adds to your life, but what He takes away. He will take away relationships that drain you. He will take away opportunities that are beneath your calling. He will take away distractions dressed as dreams. He will remove idols you didn't know you had. And it may hurt. It may leave you confused. But in time, you'll see that everything He removed was either delaying your destiny or diluting your identity. We often fall in love with things that were never meant to be permanent. Temporary things can feel so satisfying when they meet a need in the moment. But God doesn't just operate in the moment. He works with eternity in mind. He knows what is sustainable. He knows what can survive the storm. He knows what can carry the weight of your calling. So when He begins to strip things away, don't fight Him. Don't beg for what He's trying to take. Don't pray for Him to restore what He's already removed. Instead, ask for clarity. Ask Him to show you the lesson in the loss. Ask Him to shape you through the stripping. Everything that grows must first be pruned. A tree that is never cut will eventually produce less fruit. Overgrowth suffocates productivity. There are branches in your life that look alive, but are actually draining your strength. God sees the hidden decay. He sees the spiritual parasites. He sees the compromise you tolerate. So He prunes, He cuts, He removes, not to harm you, but to make you fruitful. He is not punishing you. He is positioning you. You might not understand why certain people walked out of your life. You might wonder why the partnership failed, why the friend turned cold, why the door that once opened with ease now remains shut. But what you perceive as rejection is often God's redirection. That friend who betrayed you was keeping you tied to a version of yourself that could not enter your future. That door that closed was leading to a life that looked good but was not God. That opportunity that fell through was a test of your dependence, not your value. God saw conversations you never heard. He knew intentions that were hidden from you. He loved you enough to close what you wanted so He could open what you needed. God will remove your plan B so you'll finally surrender to His plan A. He'll allow your backup systems to fail so you discover that He is your source. He'll shake your foundations, not to destroy your house, but to show you what it's really built on. You cannot build a destiny on unstable ground. So He tests the ground. He exposes the cracks. He reveals what was hidden under your success. And when it all starts to fall apart, don't think God has abandoned you. Know that He is building something unshakable, something eternal, something pure. We serve a God who doesn't just want to give us what we want. He wants to give us what we are ready to manage. If what you want is too small for your assignment, he'll take it away. If what you're holding is compromising your growth, he'll remove it. If what you've built is feeding your pride more than your purpose, he'll dismantle it, not out of anger, but out of love. Because he cannot give you kingdom authority while you're still addicted to earthly applause. He cannot release the full measure of your purpose while you're still chained to temporary pleasure. He cannot elevate you if your character cannot carry the weight of that elevation. There are times when you think you're losing, but in reality, you're being liberated. The job you lost freed you from a system that was crushing your creativity. The relationship that ended broke a cycle of emotional dependency. The friends who distanced themselves made room for divine connections, and the pain that followed all of it was not a curse, it was a cleansing. God had to make space. He had to empty your hands so you could receive. He had to pull you away from comfort so you could confront the truth of your calling. The most dangerous place you can live is outside of God's timing. You can have the right gift in the wrong season, and it will fail. You can meet the right person at the wrong time and it will not work. Timing matters to God because he orchestrates every step with purpose. So sometimes he'll remove something not because it's bad, but because it's not yet. He's preserving it for a future moment. He's keeping it hidden until your character can carry it with integrity. And during that waiting, he might remove what you're using to distract yourself. He might take away what's numbing the pain. He might strip you of your masks so you can face yourself in truth. This is not punishment. This is preparation. When God removes something, it is always tied to a higher dimension. The loss is only visible in the natural, but in the spirit, something is shifting, something is aligning, something is being activated. Every removal in your life is a divine announcement that elevation is near, and elevation demands separation. You cannot go higher while dragging weights. You cannot climb with cluttered hands. You cannot rise while being held by people who are content with staying low. Sometimes God removes your options so you'll lean on obedience. He removes the noise so you can hear his whisper. He removes the crowd so you can learn the value of solitude. Because true transformation does not happen in the spotlight. It happens in the secret place. It happens in the wilderness. It happens in the dark, when nobody sees you, when everything feels like it's being taken, when you're tempted to believe that nothing is working. But in that space, God is doing his deepest work. He's reshaping your identity. He's rebuilding your confidence. He's clarifying your vision, and he's anchoring your faith, not in outcomes, but in him. He wants you to depend on him, not the job, not the money, not the applause, not the connections. So he removes what you've leaned on. He removes what you've depended on. He removes the props, because anything that can be shaken must be shaken until only what is unshakable remains. And what remains is who you truly are, not your title, not your possessions, but your essence, your core, your spirit, your anointing, your destiny. And from that place, he begins to build again. Every time God removes something, he's planting something else in its place. He removes fear and plants faith. He removes distraction and plants discipline. He removes pride and plants humility. He removes doubt and plants vision. But the planting can't happen until there is space. And space is made through surrender, through obedience, through trust, through willingness to say, Lord, even if it hurts, take it if it's not from you. Even if I want it, remove it if it doesn't align with my purpose. Even if I don't understand, I choose to trust your hand over my plans. God is not interested in your comfort. He is committed to your calling. He is not trying to please your flesh. He is trying to grow your spirit. He is not focused on making you popular. He is focused on making you powerful. And that power comes through process. And process involves pain. And pain often comes through removal. But if you stay with him through the removal, if you don't run when it gets hard, if you don't retreat when it gets quiet, you'll begin to see what he was really doing all along. You'll realize he wasn't taking things from you. He was pulling greatness out of you.